in AMC, no one can hear you get an alien popcorn bucket.
Oh, that's so sad, because you didn't get your alien popcorn bucket.
Hello and welcome to CassetteTake, where you can eject wherever you want, but please don't forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And I didn't get my popcorn bucket. Out of all the popcorn buckets that have come out in the past seemingly years, even though it's been not even a year since this popcorn bucket thing has become a trend.
The drama.
Yeah, this is the one I wanted. The one with the little face hugger on it. I thought it was so cool. I was ready. We got here early. And bro, the person that came in walking in the theater with us got the last one.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna, punch him, but no.
No, I was gonna hug him in the face with my fist.
Yeah. It was kind of sad. I was like, oh, you didn't get it.
Yeah, no,
Guess we have to go see it again.
You're not down. I'm down.
No.
No, we in little compensation prize they did give us because we saw it as a fan event in the Dolby Theater. They gave us little patches and pins.
I love how we didn't even say what we went to go see. Usually we say what we went to go see, but
we just. I was so disappointed with the popcorn bucket, or not the lack of popcorn bucket, that it just took over. But Annmarie, what did we just go see?
We saw AlienRomulus.
We did just go see AlienRomulus, and me, the way I viewed it, we experienced AlienRomulus.
We did go see it in Dolby, so it was an experience.
Oh man, I felt like that movie kind of was a little transcending experience for me.
Really?
Transcendent, yeah. It just, oh man. Well, if you can't tell by my reaction, I love this movie. Straight up, I won't hide it. I won't build up to it. I love this movie. This movie just, Alien is back, folks. It is back. This is like the perfect blend of aliens, and even like nods to the old, I don't want to say old because that's Alien and Aliens, but like Prometheus and even some stuff in Covenant, like that kind. Even though I was disappointed by Covenant, just Alien is back, baby, and it was able to redeem a lot of the stuff that I was disappointed by in recent years with the Alien movies, and just kind of, make something and pull a Prey and really come back swinging and hitting it out of the foopin' park.
Foopin' park. Wait, okay, so give me a little history, because, I know some of the Alien movies, like Sigourney Weaver, everything like that. So give me a little history lesson.
All right, Alien, I believe, came out in 1970, what was it, 9? Or it was late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie came out, directed by Ridley Scott, and did really well, a lot. In fact, there's this whole meme of, parents going to take their kids to see this movie in the 70s, and they didn't know, the movie was going to be, as filled with body horror and all this grotesque stuff in it.
Ridley Scott.
You silly.
You silly face hugger.
Silly face hugger. Oh, Xenomorphs are for kids. But no. So yeah, these parents took their kids to see the movie, not expecting, even though it was rated R. Or actually, no, there was no MPAA, I think, at the time, right? Or it was different.
Think so.
I think there was a different classification at the time. But so a lot of parents were like, yeah, maybe we should have taken our kids to see this movie.
Scarring the children.
Yeah, but hey, people loved it either way. They saw it, and so they made Aliens with James Cameron at the helm for the next one. And it was more action-packed. It was the first one was more horror. The Aliens, which came out in the 80s, was more action-based. It did have horror moments, but it was more action-based. You would probably... I think you've seen Aliens, right?
I've seen all of them. I haven't seen Covenant.
Oh, Covenant?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
It's not good. I know my stuff.
You do know your history. Why are you having me tell you? No, but yeah, the first two movies really are the ones that a lot of people consider to be the best of the best, the creme de la creme of alien movies, and arguably sci-fi movies at times, depending on who you talk to. Now, everything afterwards has been very hit or miss. Alien 3 Like,
is that the CGI bad green screen alien?
I don't know, man. It's been so long since I've seen it, but it's like, it's a lot of people, you'll hear different opinions about Alien 3. Some people like it, some people don't. Mixed bag. But the general consensus is, eh. And then, you had like Resurrection or whatever that came out years after, and that one was garbage, straight up. And then you had like all these other ones like Alien versus Predator. It became a little more commercial over time. And then eventually we get to like this period of nothingness, and it's only living in the comics. And then we get like Prometheus, where it's like, oh, let's get into the lore, the legacy of it all. And rather than focusing on the, what made Alien and Aliens great, it kind of focuses more, Ridley Scott wanted to focus more on the idea of, I'm not sure if Ridley Scott did that one, but I think he was involved. But he wanted to focus more on the lore.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people weren't really into it, but there were some that were. I enjoyed Prometheus. And a lot of other people did. Some people didn't. And they just kind of kept going in that direction with Covenant. And that just was like, everyone was like, okay, we've had enough of this.
They were both directed by Ridley Scott, just a heads up.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so those movies were very hit and miss. And now, after many years later, we got AlienRomulus, directed by Fede Álvarez, who, if you don't know, did Don't Breathe. And what else did he do? Can't recall at the moment, but
I'm Googling.
Google. But yeah, no, Fede Álvarez is a renowned like horror director who knows his stuff, honestly, and this movie shows.
Yeah.
His whole thing with timing of jump scares and like when to use them and when not to overuse them is done so well. And dang, man, like, I love this movie. I've been talking way too much, so...
No, you went... So Ethan really did go into this movie super excited. I think you really enjoy this franchise, and it's Ridley Scott's baby, kind of. He's been a part of it for so long. Stop.
No spoilers, by the way, but...
Not yet.
The key word is baby for this movie.
And so, you're really more connected to it than I am. Again, I think I've said it multiple times on this channel. I'm not a horror person. I don't do horror. I get scared really easily. And this was scary. And terrifying. And maybe I had my eyes closed for some of it. But, you know what? I will give credit where credit's due. We saw this in Dolby. The sound is amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think it's up there with Furiosa for probably best sound design.
Ooh, I hope so.
Oh man.
And the music to it too.
Yeah, we talked about the guy who did this for a different movie that came out this year. Ben Wallfish, I think his name is, or Wallfisher.
Yeah.
What else did he do? Because there was another movie that we were like, dang, the score is so good for this movie. Who did it? And
You're right.
Was it Furiosa?
Ben Wallfish did AlienRomulus.
Right, but what was the other movie that came out this year that he did?
Chick
Away, because this score is a blend of nostalgic, atmospheric, just everything you would want in a sci-fi alien movie. It was so immersive and great, and it really felt like we were kind of going back to that era of 70s sci-fi horror, and almost Kubrickian at times with how it was done. So
he did Blade Runner 2049.
Dang.
Yeah.
What was the movie he did this year, though?
I don't think he did one this year. It doesn't look like he did.
That's
thank you so
Oh, wait, no, wait, was it Furiosa? Go down. One more. My guy's hot.
Ethan's just making stuff up now.
What was the orange thing down there? Isn't that the Furiosa?
No, it's Hellboy.
No. Dang. Okay, I'll find out later.
We definitely need to do more research.
No, but honestly though, you were saying though, the sound design is just
It's
top
so
of the line.
cool. Yeah.
And it's just so immersive, blended with that score. It's almost like Star Wars in the sense of, like the music is timed with moments, and it really enhances those moments quite a bit. And certain technological noises kind of blend in with the score, like the machinery in the background just kind of makes it flow all together to make it really feel so immersive. If you go see this in a Dolby, you're really going to get that. You're going to get a treat for yourself if you see this in Dolby.
I think the only way to see this is Dolby, to be totally honest with you, because Dolby still has the great visuals too, but they always talk about the sound, and the sound to this movie, I think it's so important. And honestly, it kept me really engaged too, just because, again, it's horror, and I think horror really relies on the sound of stuff. But yeah, and visually, this movie is just beautiful. It really is. There's a lot of stuff in outer space, and it's so cool.
Twisters.
Oh, he did Twisters.
Yeah, bro's got 2 movies out right now with good scores.
Twisters does have a good score.
Yeah, and it's both. You know what's so funny is that I think in the Twisters review, I was, we were saying that also sounded very nostalgic as well. It had that nostalgic element to it, and it was really well done. And yeah, I mean, it only makes sense that Ben Wellfish is your guy for that stuff. I wonder what it would be like if him and J.J. Abrams teamed up, because they're really good at nostalgia.
JJ, we have a project for you, paging.
Yeah, him or what's his name?
Denis would be cool too if he teamed up with Denis.
That's true. What's the one that I'm thinking of? The director that he's doing he's the son of Ivan.
Drago?
No,
kidding.
Ghostbusters.
Oh,
what's his name? I'm forgetting it.
Hold on.
Annmarie to the rescue. Annmarie always comes in clutch with the research. I'll tell you that right now.
I try. We'll find it. Yeah, he would be good with him though too.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Because you see the SNL stuff. Reitman. Jason Reitman is the one I was thinking of, his son. So Jason Reitman, he is also really good at nostalgia. If you take him and Wallfisher, is it Wallfish or Wallfisher?
Wallfish.
Okay, yeah, Wallfish. That would be a match made in heaven, but, it's always different artists work differently with different artists, so you never know. But on the surface, I think that would be a match made in heaven if there was a nostalgic project.
He is killing it with the nostalgia with Twisters and Aliens.
Yes. So, sound is definitely key for this movie, but like you were saying as well earlier, the visual.
Yeah.
The cinematography for this movie is so immersive and so incredible. I truly felt it really felt more like I was in space than, say, like a Star Wars movie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And for me to say that, Mr. Star Wars boy over here.
After the movie, I looked towards Ethan and then, it felt like a really good video game movie. And, I know video game movies get so much crap, but, this one for sure, the plot of it is a video game, and the characters, it reminded me of, have you ever heard of Detroit Becoming Human?
Yes.
Yeah, it reminded me of that, but, with, alien and outer space twist to it.
That would be an interesting video game concept right there. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. And honestly, there was a really good, I forgot to mention this in the Alien history rundown that I just did. Whether it's correct or not, who knows? We'll let the audience decide, because that's always the best reliable thing to go with. But, there was it Alien Colonial or Colony? I can't remember what it was. Annmarie, rescue me.
I'm sorry.
So, no, there was this video game, I think there were a couple actually that came out that were suspense, horror, thriller, alien games where you're on, a ship and isolated by yourself with the xenomorph, and you have to be really quiet. And one of them, I think the most recent one, actually has a mic implementation into it where you can't make a sound like with your mic, otherwise the alien hears you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and the way that it's done, like with the aliens animations and like its reactions to certain sounds and all that, like it freaks me out. I'll be scrolling through TikTok at some point, like and seeing some gameplay footage of it, and I'll honestly fall for those jump scares. Like I'm watching a tiny little screen, like oh, like I dropped the phone on my face. My phone will be a face hugger.
I believe you are calling out Alien Isolation.
Yes, Isolation. Yeah, and I haven't played the game myself, but like I said, I've watched gameplay of it, and I know people that have played it, and they loved it. So that was also kind of in between like the Prometheus and Alien Covenant era.
Wow, Alien's been going on for a while. I kind of forget about that. Like, it's been over 40, 50 years for them. They're like on the level of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they came out around the same time. So, yeah, it's such a beloved franchise. And
so is this calling back to, like, the originals? Like, you think Aliens is now in a good spot?
Yes, and like I was saying earlier, the fact that it not only pays such homage, but, like, inspiration and continues the story of like the originals, and also blends it with some of the ideas, like the good ideas from the Prometheus and Covenant movies that were underutilized and just mentioned in passing, and implement them into one culmination, one wonderful culmination of a storyline. Just was done so masterfully, and you could tell, like, Ridley Scott had some sort of, like, influence on it, like, as a producer, kind of guiding Fede's hand. And I think there's an interview where Ridley's kind of saying, like, oh, yeah, I gave him, like, a note here or there after I watched a screening or after I read his script or something like that. And it was funny. Fede apparently, like, punched the walls, like, okay. Like... You know, like in a nice way, like, oh, like, I'm so upset that wasn't perfect right away, but, like, I'm so glad that you're giving me notes at the same time. Like, well, every writer goes through that.
it is Ridley Scott's baby, and I'm glad he was still get to be a part of it in a way. And, again, like, I think he has such influence on this story, just like he has in his other movies. Definitely a step up from Napoleon, which I'm very happy about.
Yes. And we'll have to see where, Ridley Scott's next directing venture takes him with Gladiator 2 coming out soon. But here he was only a producer, and, he had some influence, but at the end of the day, he was not the head honcho of it all. So Fede absolutely is our boy here to get the massive credit, the massive round of applause. In fact, I think there was like one person applauding at the end in our theater, but I wasn't. I could have easily applauded too, with my popcorn bucketless hands.
Oh, come on! Revenge of the popcorn bucket.
You know what? They gotta fix that thing where like people are buying it right away. Like seriously, we got here early and like the shelves were gone. Like, come on,
it's just popular, Ethan.
Yet they still have a Quiet Place bucket sitting around.
They have a Borderlands bucket.
Yeah, they still had Claptrap chilling.
We love Claptrap.
Claptrap. But, popcorn bucket or not, this movie was, I'm honestly, I might put it in my top 5.
Of the year?
Yep.
Wow.
I liked it that much.
God, we're going to be stacked by the end of this year.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to top of my head, right, like spewing out my top 3, of course, this is all subject to change. Yeah. Maybe like tomorrow, all of a sudden, I'm like, this movie sucked. Like, it probably won't happen, but you never know. But I would say Doom Part 2.
Thank God. Kingdom?
Honestly, this one might be
better than Kingdom?
Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh,
whoa!
Okay, no, okay. Doom Part 2, AlienRomulus,
Kingdom?
I'm going back and forth between Kingdom and Wolverine or Deadpool Wolverine. But, like...
Check in at the end of this year to get our full results.
We'll see. But, like, yeah, I gotta say, AlienRomulus right now, number 2.
How many out of 10?
Well, I mean... Well, first of all, before we get to that, I gotta say, without spoiling it, this movie's third act goes hard.
Insane.
Like, my jaw was... I'm not sure what Annmarie could see it, like, past her hands covering one of her eyes like a pirate. But, like, my jaw was dropped with a couple...
Save it for the spoilers!
Oh, man. It's just so good. This movie's so good.
Well, because it fakes you out. It makes you feel like it's going to end. And then they're like, oh, no, we got like 20 more minutes, people.
Yeah, and it kind of fools you a little bit because it's, one of the things with this movie is like, oh, you got to get out of here in a certain amount of time. Almost like a Metroid aspect where it's like, oh, you have a limited amount of time to get out of here, get what you need and get out. And then, like, it's constantly reminding you how much time is left. So you're kind of thinking like, oh, your brain is associating with, okay, there's that much time left in the movie because it's got to end with that climax. And when 10 minutes went by, it felt like 10 minutes went by.
Yeah.
So that really kind of messed with your psychology a bit, as if the jump scares didn't do that enough, scarring us for life.
Yeah.
But by the time it gets to the end, and then it's just like, but wait, folks. There's more.
It definitely does my favorite thing where it makes a certain amount of time. They make a full-length movie in a certain amount of time. Like, that's one of my favorite things ever. I just talked about that with the Saturday Night trailer. So
yeah. So that, oh man, I could go on about this movie for
we gotta talk
days and days.
Spoilers.
We do have to talk about spoilers, but before we do, Annmarie, let me answer your question.
My turn. I'm going to say it.
Do it.
Ethan, out of how many...
Say popcorn buckets. I'll kill you.
I was going to say popcorn buckets. Out of how many face huggers would you give this movie?
Wait, face huggers or face hugs?
Face hugs.
Oh, that's wholesome.
So wholesome.
Wholesome like the whole drips of acid that will go through my... No, anyway... So I would give this a 10.
A 10?
I really liked it that much. I really loved it. I don't know. It was hard for me to find, anything to dislike from this movie. The thing that I thought was questionable, and we'll get into this with spoilers, but there was one thing that I'm just like, oh, that is so like fucked up looking and like so uncanny, like so well done at the same time. Like that might shift it more to a 9.5, but like honestly, the way my brain is processing right now, I gotta say I loved it still and was a 10. So Annmarie, what's your score for this one?
Again, you're really into these kind of movies. I hate horror movies, but credit to where credit's due. It is a very visual, beautiful movie. It is action-packed. It's horror. I was scared for my life. Did what I needed to do. I give it a solid 8. But again, it's just not my kind of movie. So, but I would still consider that pretty high for something
Honestly, that was a lot higher than I thought you were going to give it.
Credit where credit's due. Like, it scared me even with my eyes closed and I could just hear the sound. It did its job.
Yes.
And I also like the characters.
Yeah, the characters were very well written in this movie, and their dynamics with each other. At first, it's like, oh, you can kind of tell where it's going. It's a little more of a nod to the first one, where it's just, like you got your motley crew together, and they all have their own agendas and different backgrounds, and one of them might be more of an asshole than others, but, it's, they were very well written, and, like, if you can do something that's familiar, but, like, creatively different enough to make it feel new, I'd say, hey, absolutely hats off to you.
Well, and can we get into spoilers?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen AlienRomulus, first off, Are you excited for it? Are you eager to see it? Are you aching to somehow find the treasure trove of popcorn buckets
Oh my
that
god.
you are definitely going to miss out on? Because I sure have not found my own.
Let it go, man. No,
Bro, I'm a face hugger to the face hugger popcorn bucket. I ain't letting go of that. But anyway, hey, whatever you're thinking before we get into our spoilers here, let us know your takes on our tapes in those comments down below. And without further ado, Annmarie,
spoilers.
in this review, everyone can hear our thoughts.
Okay, so this movie basically broken down is the main character, Rain. And her brother, which is a robot, Andy, joined this motley crew to go on a space station to get frozen pods.
Yeah, it's like a space heist.
Yeah, it's a space heist. And then, of course, the asshole who's mean to her brother dies, which we figured.
Yeah, he's a little racy to the synths.
I do like the world that Alien has set up. Like, it does kind of feel like, oh, this is like kind of interesting, especially with AI in our world right now, to have a humanoid seems possible, at least. And I really like the actor. I really like the way he portrayed that character, Andy.
Yeah, and we should have mentioned this in the spoiler-free review, but like the production design, the set design for this movie, everything felt like you could touch it and feel it, and it just was like so well done.
The design of the aliens are so cool.
Not only that, but like the design of like the world, like the planet that's like right that they were coming from. Just and if you see it, some of the set photos, that was like real. All of that was real.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the farm that was right there, like adjacent to where they were walking, was real, and just everything was like practical in that aspect. Everything, essentially, the mentality here with Fede Álvarez was, if it can be done in practical, we'll do it in practical. Not if they need to do CGI, then they gotta do it, but they are not gonna fall on it, you know.
I like that because I feel like even the original Aliens tried to do practical too, as much as possible.
Well, Alien didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
It's like, gotta get the guy in the rubber suit.
Okay.
But here it was actually a animatronic.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I think it was more like Aliens, where it was, you know, animatronic rather than guy in a rubber suit.
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better than a dog in a suit.
Yeah, that's for all you who don't know. In Alien 3, they tried to use dogs as like in prosthetics as a as like little xenomorphs.
Why do I feel like that's such a George Lucas idea? He's like, we're gonna do this.
I want little puppers to roll around.
Toadfools.
They love the faces, like. Yes, but so yeah, you know that was obviously a mistake, and they did not go down that route with this movie. Although that would have been very interesting to see. They actually go down a different route with like the an alternative xenomorph towards the end, and this is what I was talking about with the uncanniness of this moment. That I'm like, whoa, that's fucked up. But it's really cool at the same time and makes sense. It's also really fucked up.
So the movie basically, one of the girls on the crew is pregnant and decides to take this serum instead of just going to the cryopod, idiot.
Yeah, the serum is basically like a weird genetic, like what the scientists take from the xenomorph, what they were studying on that abandoned outpost to help make the next step in human evolution.
Mm-hmm. And so she takes it, but she's also pregnant.
Yeah, she took it so she could survive, thinking, oh, this is just going to help me and maybe enhance me a bit.
Nope.
So I can survive. And yep, nope, she goes in her cryo chamber, and it's like, nope, cryo chamber doesn't accept your dollar bill. So yeah, it just was so crazy.
It was very body horror.
Yes, and that was probably the most up body horror because it's like you have this cocoon this acid-filled cocoon emerging from her womb.
Oh,
Like, you're watching this thing come out, all the blood spewing out, all the acid spewing out, and then on top of it, you got the what was it? The the baby. Like, you see like a human baby face with like a weird tail looking thing, and it's just like, oh shit, like this thing that we're not getting just your dad's xenomorph. This is not your father's xenomorph. Like, this is just a humanoid xenomorph, like human face, like elongate. He kind of reminded me a bit of what we saw in Prometheus, and blended with a Navi a little bit, like a white pasty Navi.
Yeah.
Except much more menacing and looks like it came from hell.
Oh gosh.
Especially with the one scene where she's trying to kill this thing by abandoning the cargo hold that it's in, and then climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing to get back up. And it's like, almost there. You know, she's singing that in her head, definitely. And then at the, like, you have this jump scare, and this one got me. Like, a lot of them, like, I jumped a bit, but, like, none of them really, like, got me. This one got me and I knew it was coming, too. I'm like, they're going to do something. Like, it's not that easy. It is not that easy. And as she's, like, crawling back up her little wire thing to get back to the cargo hold, or, like, at least pull that last lever to make it go drop, they have, like, in your face moment where, like, this humanoid, weird-ass looking creature, xenomorph thing, jumps in your face covered in blood, and it's just like, oh, man, that thing, that's going to haunt me. That's going to haunt me.
Like, shout out to the VFX team and Annmarie Griggs, who did the VFX. Like, it was really, like, it was uncomfortable, like, watching this thing. And, oh, man, it just freaked me out the whole entire time. It was like, I'm going to have nightmares of this stupid thing walking around. But, again, like, it's so... The VFX in it's really, really good. And
yeah.
I had a feeling the one thing that we kind of talked about, the VFX not being as good, is that robot in the ship.
Okay, yeah, so now that we're in spoiler territory, Rooker is in this movie, or Rook. It's Rook, yeah. Rook is in this movie. For all you guys who watched the first Alien, was it Alien or Aliens? It was one of the two. Rook is in this movie. He was the synth from one of those movies, and he was infamously cut in half and was seemingly destroyed after his xenomorph took care of him. And he's of the mindset of, I will do whatever it takes for the sake of the company. You know, very corporate mindset. And just he's around, but obviously synths don't age really, so he's got to look the same as he did all those years ago. So you could really tell it was a deep fake, but at the same time, it's not like a Tarkin or Leia thing, but it's more like it works here because the guy's already a robot. He's a poorly damaged robot, so it works here. It really works. I didn't see any, like, it wasn't distracting at all.
You could tell it's deep fake.
Yeah.
But it like works for what it is, because it is a robot. Like, you are watching a robot pretty much. And so it kind of works in that way where your mind tricks you into believing it.
Like, it's supposed to feel unnatural.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like that, the thing that you would think would be the most uncanny aspect of it all was honestly not uncanny at all, or at least perfectly uncanny. But yeah, it really worked. So good on them, good on the team that did that deep fake. Very well done.
So Ethan, where do they go after this now? Like, do we know of an upcoming Alien sequel to this? Do we know of a video game? Like, where would you want to see this story go?
I think this one will heavily depend on how the box office does, but I think we're going to get another Prey situation. Like, I believe there is a sequel in the works for Prey, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to go that route. This movie does well, which, based on the projections so far, it seems like it will do very well. And our theater was pretty packed, you know, like we were happened to be in a line where there weren't many people because, you know, kind of filled with handicap here and there. But the ones behind us, you know, absolutely filled with their own popcorn buckets. But beside the point, I will let it go. You know, they, you know, I have a strong feeling that this movie will do very well. And
would you want them to follow the same characters or do a different story entirely?
I would like it if we followed Rain again. Like maybe do another Aliens thing where you have kind of like Ripley in the next one as well, like for that sake of continuity. That would be nice. Something to keep it a little more grounded. But like in regards to the whole evolutionary process, you gotta do something different. Like I think they did so many different creative things in this movie that I didn't think that they would do. Again, my jaw was dropped so many times. Like, oh, that's so cool. Like the acid scene, the using the zero gravity aspect to their advantage. All these different creative ways that they tried to circumnavigate the alien and its tactics and the face huggers. Just is such a great use of imagination. So I don't know how you go from here with maintaining that that sense of creativity. Like with Prey, at least it's more hunting. Like there's a lot more versatility to it. And you can argue that there is that hunting aspect with the xenomorph, but Alien at the end of the day isn't really too much about the hunt as it is the evolutionary process with the hunt. You know what I mean? And the horror and thrills that come with it, and the victims. But so I don't know really where they're going to go from here. At first, I thought it was going to be this one's called AlienRomulus, so the next one's going to be AlienRemus.
Yeah.
But obviously, we already saw where they decided to go with Remus in the end, with the baby in quotes.
Well, that's what I thought they were gonna do. I thought they were gonna stop and like, oh great, the next movie is her giving birth to this weird baby alien, but they decided to keep it in this one.
Yeah, so that's why, especially, I'm like, I don't know where they want to take the story from here, unless the remnants of this the space station that crashed, you know, might be going around in space and there's another heist team, but I don't know, you already did that. So
you gotta like always step up. I feel like for the next one you gotta just keep stepping up because that's what people want.
Exactly, and this movie was a great example of that. It wasn't just like let's just pay homage and do nostalgia baits here, and here. It was like, no, we're gonna like show you like hints of what was done already, but we're going to maintain that mentality and take it to 11. And especially with that third act, they really took it to 11. So, yeah, I really don't know where they're going to go from here, but I hope they do go somewhere. And if they have Fede Álvarez at the helm, I know we're going to be in a good place.
Do you think people are going to be upset with the ending at all? Because it is kind of off. It is different from the other movies.
It is off-putting, but I think it leans more into that Prometheus aspect, but blends it with that the aliens aspect at the same time. So I know for a fact that there are going to be people that don't like it, but at the same time, I feel that there's going to be more people that really liked it, that like that ending, because at the end of the day, it culminates like the best aspects of what we saw in all the previous Alien movies and just brings them into this one the best way possible.
So I wanted to quickly look up the budget for this movie. I'm kind of shocked. It's only $80 million. I say only $80 million, like it's nothing. But the predictions are around $75 million, which I think is really good for global box office. So hopefully it can keep that run. I'm sure you're going to go see it again.
Oh, yes.
I feel like it does have good like you can go see it again and again and get something new from it. And so, yeah, of course, like I want to see this movie succeed as much as it scared me. I want to see movies succeed.
Little, context, by the way, for Alien Romulus here. It takes place in between Alien and Aliens.
Oh.
Yeah, so, because takes place in the year 2142.
Mm-hmm.
Alien takes place in 2122. James Cameron's Aliens takes place in 2179. So Ripley might be in cryo sleep right now.
Yeah, she probably is.
Yeah, so just chilling, vibing.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, like, what cryo sleep would be like. Not in the Ted Williams sense, but like in the, just generally like in the sci-fi realm, like what that would be like. Oh, just like, night, you brush your teeth before you go into cryo sleep.
I have never thought of this.
I don't know. It's just like such an interesting concept. It's like you can live much longer and travel greater distances and maintain your age, but like time flies by. I don't know. It's just such a weird concept, but like almost realistic at the same time.
Okay. No, I'm kidding. Nothing.
Everybody's just looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong? Eject button.
God.
No, but yeah, regardless, I think this movie is going to make a lot of money. We're in the middle of the summer. I think the people are loving to see movies right now, especially coming after Deadpool and Wolverine and like some other great horror movies like Longlegs that came out, that a lot of people went to go see.
And this one kind of has a clear path. Like there's not much coming out in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you can still stand on top of the box office.
Yeah, the question. Okay, here's something though. I mean, this is a little off topic. Actually, all right, we'll move on. This is a little bonus topic for this video.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, what did you guys think of Alien Romulus? Did you go see it? Did you get your popcorn bucket? I'm gonna ask that. I'm gonna ask that till I die. But hey, whatever your thoughts are about this movie, are you excited for the future, etc.? Let us know your takes on our tapes in the comments down below, and we're excited to hear y'all's thoughts.
Yeah.
Now, the last bonus topic we'll talk about today, because we are really talking quite a bit about this movie. So during the trailers, there were trailers for The Crow, like the Crow reboot or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Remake.
We saw 2 trailers actually.
Yeah, they showed that trailer twice.
That was weird.
I'm not sure if that's like was intentional or not, but if it was intentional, maybe it's because they're like desperate to get this movie marketed, like to everyone that they can possible. But yeah, I don't know. Like The Crow is such a niche cult kind of movie, so it's like I don't know. Like the projections are already poorly.
Yeah.
Are already poor for this movie coming out. And for opening weekend, and I'm curious, is it going to do worse or better than Borderlands?
So Ethan asked me this beforehand. I think it might do better than Borderlands because I feel like more people know The Crow. Like I know about The Crow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it could do better. I just don't think it has that big of a draw, to be honest. And so maybe like 2 more million above Borderlands, but not by much.
Yeah. So, I mean, like the video game aspect with Borderlands, I feel like drew in a decent sized crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of movies would be happy to make like more than $1 million, right? But this is a bigger budget movie and all that. So, I don't know. It's a tight one because, like I was saying, The Crow cult, very minute like audience there, relatively speaking. But I think it might come down to what it's rated because Borderlands going in was like a 0% for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
On Rotten Tomatoes. I think this one will vary heavily on its Rotten Tomatoes score. I think the Rotten Tomatoes score will decide whether or not it does better than Borderlands.
It just seems like a movie that's going to come and pass pretty fast.
Yeah, like people are going to be like, okay, they're check Rotten Tomatoes for this one and be like, oh, I'm seeing that it's anything below a 10%, I'm not going to go see. Or like anything below a 30%, I'm not going to go see. So with Borderlands, it was obviously well below 10 for its opening weekend. And with this one, I have a feeling it's going to be, if I were to guess, maybe like in the 40s. Like if it does turn out to be like a iffy movie. No, not dollar amount, but like 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like just based on what I've seen so far, it doesn't look like a bad movie, but I just have a feeling it's not going to do well with critics. So I don't know. I hope it does. I always hope the next film does better and all that as they come out, but
it seems like the wrong month for it. I feel like it should be on October 1.
Yeah, that's true, but maybe they already have. What company was that? Was that Lionsgate?
Yeah.
Dang, that's another Lionsgate movie.
Yeah.
They were the ones with Borderlands.
Oh God, Lionsgate, I'm sorry.
Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting time for Borderlands. Or Borderlands, Lionsgate. Wow. Godspeed.
Godspeed, my friend.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, guys, I just wanted to add that little bonus topic because AMC really, or whoever, wanted us to really see that movie based on showing us that trailer twice in the same show, showing. So we'll see what happens. But hey, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys think The Crow is going to beat out Borderlands for an opening weekend? Are you guys excited to see The Crow? Did you go see Borderlands? The numbers say not, but we'll see.
It's always good to ask.
Ask, because, it doesn't hurt. But hey, whatever you're thinking, let us know your takes on our tapes in the comments down below. And with that, Annmarie, do you have anything else to add?
Oh, those face huggers.
Give the ones you love a big old face hug.
Aww.
Unless they don't give you a popcorn bucket with a face hug on it, instead that you want to rip them out with a little. Anyway, hey guys, whatever you thought about, whatever we're talking about today, whether it be AlienRomulus, The Crow, Borderlands, etc., let us know your takes on all of our tapes in the comments down below. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us, hit that little bell in the corner, if you need to.
We're becoming YouTubers.
Yeah, we're becoming one of the tubers. But hey, we love y'all. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed so far, and we're kind of gaining more of a community here, and we're really proud of it. It's small, tight knit, but hey, we're proud of it, and we're always happy to have more in our little group here and little cassette takes.
Definitely.
So
thank you all, and with that, thank you for joining us on this episode of Cassette Take. If you have ejected at this point, or you've gotten this far, you haven't been face hugged yet, whatever it is, please don't forget to rewind. I've been Ethan, and I'm Annmarie,
and remember, in AMC, no one can hear Annmarie scream.